Bitcoin has touched prices right above the $50,000 level, actually only $500 away from the target of 51,000 that we set on this channel just a couple weeks ago. And if we get above the 200-day, that's likely going to give us a lot of momentum, and I think we would actually extend all the way up to the 618 fib extension target that is about 51,000 US dollars. Bitcoin hit just below our target around the 618 fib extension level, and now we are trading back below 50,000. So in this video, we're going to discuss what's next for Bitcoin, what we could expect moving forward, good accumulation targets. I also want to discuss the altcoin market. Bitcoin dominance is on its next leg down. This means that we may actually end up hitting all-time lows for Bitcoin dominance if we do enter another mania phase. All of this and more in today's video. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Svenson. Today we're going to be doing an update, catching up with what's been happening recently in the market. Bitcoin did touch just below our target of 51,000. We are now seeing some resistance. But guys, before we get started, smash up that like button and subscribe to this channel if you're new. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin on the daily chart. A pretty interesting story is beginning to unfold here for the price of Bitcoin. Within today's daily candle here, we did touch prices at 50,500. And if you guys remember on this channel for the past couple weeks, we've been talking about the 618 fib extension from the 65K top. If you take your fibs to the 28.8K low, we've been targeting this area, the 618, the $51,100 level, and we came just shy of that target. Though in my book, it's close enough. We hit this target. So what does this mean for Bitcoin moving forward? If our upside target has been hit and we just went above the $50,000 price level, well, psychologically, that is, a pretty big hurdle to be getting above or across, right? 50,000. A lot of people are probably going to be taking this as a profit-taking opportunity, right? The traders, the swing traders are probably going to be taking some profits in the zone. And this level that we're finding some resistance at, of course, does coincide with some previous support zones. So I don't expect us to just move above this level, right? I think we're actually going to get a pullback here. You guys know I'm long-term bullish on Bitcoin, all right? I'm only short-term bearish right now. I think we're probably going to see some sort of play to the downside. And this is actually exactly what we've been discussing on this channel, was a 51K test and a pullback towards the low $40,000 range. The way that I'm going to be playing this move is, if it does play out, I'm not going to be selling right now, right? I don't care about taking a little bit of profit to rebuy lower. I'm just going to have cash on hand to accumulate at lower levels. So a couple key moving averages. For one, the 50-day EMA was very instrumental in our uptrend here, right? We touched it many, many times. We used it as support. And then once we started to confirm daily candles closes below it, things got a little bit uneasy and the market entered a major correction. Recently, we actually came back up and flipped it, right? We broke above it, and now we flipped it into support once again. So we are in a much more bullish territory here. If Bitcoin does play out this correction that I'm talking about, you could potentially be looking at the 50-day EMA as a potential support target, accumulation target. If not, I'm looking at the 128-day SMA as a potential accumulation target as well. And all of this is coinciding and coming right along our previous $40,000 to $42,000 resistance, right? We haven't actually back tested this as support yet, right? We haven't actually confirmed previous resistance as new support. So seeing a test down to the low 40K range, getting some more accumulation going before the next major leg up would be completely normal and completely expected, actually. So just so you guys know, that's where I'm looking to accumulate Bitcoin, at the 50-day EMA or the 128-day SMA, right in that range. That's my accumulation zone. But of course, like we've been discussing in previous videos, we do have a supply shock crisis for Bitcoin. The illiquid supply shock ratio has been getting consistent upticks, which means that we may not get all that much of a correction, which is why I'm not selling right now. I'm just looking to accumulate. Something else that supports this being a continued bull market is the fact that the S&P 500 right now is actually hitting new all-time highs again. We saw a major bounce and the S&P is touching new all-time highs again. So we have a stable stock market, which historically is fantastic for Bitcoin bull markets. Looking at 2010 going into 2011, this Bitcoin bull market, the first one, took place alongside a major S&P uptrend, and Bitcoin only started to dump when the blue line here, the S&P started to dump, right? The next 2013 bull market well, we mooned right alongside the S&P 500, and things only got unstable as the S&P also began to get unstable. Moving along here to 2017, we mooned right alongside the S&P, and we only entered a bear market when the S&P started to get a little bit unstable, right? So it's not always correlated, but in terms of the general macro trend direction and the volatility, Bitcoin does respond to the S&P. And now, right, we had a lot of sideways action for Bitcoin and the S&P, and only until the S&P really started to take off here recently, Bitcoin did as well. So this is good, right? We want to see a healthy stock market. As long as the S&P is hitting new all-time highs, then people will be confident to speculate on Bitcoin. And that's really all the correlation is. It's just about confidence. And a good stock market, a healthy stock market, is good for Bitcoin. And it's great to see that that is the case for now. Moving on to Bitcoin dominance. This is the weekly chart for Bitcoin dominance, and we're now entering our next multi-week leg down, right? We just broke basically support on Bitcoin dominance, and now we're seeing a major move to the downside. Altcoins are starting to fly. If Bitcoin does play out this type of a correction that we were just talking about, Bitcoin dominance may have an uptick for a week or two before then having another leg down. And ultimately, I think in the end, guys, we're probably going to see all-time lows for Bitcoin dominance, right? All-time lows is coming, in my opinion, in the next major mania phase, right? Everything season, when everything goes up all at once. Today, some of my favorite altcoins, like Polygon, is retesting the June macro high. If Polygon breaks above the $1.70 range, I think that that's going to send us into new all-time highs for Polygon. Another one of my favorite altcoins, Enjin coin, is hitting new macro highs, making higher highs on the macro scale, coming up above the neckline of the previous head and shoulders pattern. Enjin coin coming back above water, right? Those are just a couple of my favorite altcoins. Even some of the low caps, right? I mentioned this 4 days ago, ADAX at 50 cents. It's now up 100%. So we see these Cardano-based altcoins are also starting to moon. And needless to say, I mean, Ethereum is looking really good. We're only, 30% from the all-time high. Ethereum is probably going to see all-time highs before Bitcoin actually, and lead us into this next alt season, or I should say everything season, because everything will probably go up all at once as we hit all-time lows for Bitcoin dominance. So that is what I think is coming, is another major mania phase, the final phase of this bull market. And looking at the performance for Bitcoin since the last market cycle top, we are currently perfectly on track with 27. So I think we're basically just moving past that 50% mark of this bull market. We have maybe another half year or less or something of major upside in this market. Definitely consider taking profits over the next half year. But first, we need to see new all-time highs for Bitcoin. So now you guys have a pretty good idea of what I think my accumulation targets for Bitcoin, the fact that I think that dominance is going to collapse and we're going to enter another major mania phase in the final phase of this bull market over the next 6 months. Overall, pretty much every major asset is doing well today. So congratulations to all you guys out there that accumulated at low levels and you guys are reaping the rewards. Hit that like button, subscribe to this channel if you're new, and join the Patreon if you want to see what altcoins I'm getting into, and if you want to support this channel, joining Patreon is the best way to do that. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all in the next video.